Welcome to The Lounge, the Her Lounge, that is, where we share laughter, life experiences, and heart to heart dialogue. I am Lynn.
I'm Jonah.
I'm Pauletta.
I'm Queasy.
And we are
your four best new girlfriends.
Welcome to the lounge.
We back.
Hey, the Her
What's up,
Lounge.
y'all?
We
What's up?
back. We back. We're
back.
not even gonna talk about the season no more because we can't be trusted. We just made a decision that we're just gonna count our episodes and we finna start just giving y'all a number.
Episode 101.
Name them one by one and see what the Lord has done. Well, welcome to the lounge where we connect with you every week through laughter, life experiences, and heart-to-heart dialogue. I got all my girls in here with me today. You know, they ain't galloping through the international sunset. You know, they're not doing any of that today. They're all in place. We got Desi on I was finna say on the mic, but you know, she on the headphones and tools. So here we are. So today we have a very, very, very good show. She didn't leave. She evolved, checking on the little girl within. Every adult woman, every woman, every girl has a girl on the inside of them. Even the grown girls still have a little girl on the inside of them that they wrestle with, that we contend with. There are seasons in our lives when she running the show. Seasons in our lives when the adult version of us is running the show. And so let's talk about that and what that looks like. And you know, Queasy is our resident
statistician.
All right. So give us numbers because numbers don't lie.
All right, here we go. So before we just really go into this, I just was really intrigued by some of the things we found. So when we talk about the little girl inside, we're not just making a metaphor. It has real roots in our minds and our bodies. Per the CDC's adverse childhood experiences, studies show that almost 64% of the U.S. adults have had at least one bad experience as a child. Also, studies of trauma therapies like internal family systems have shown that 90% of adults with unresolved emotional wounds from childhood see a big drop in their anxiety and depression once they learn to connect with, accept, and reparent the parts of themselves that are younger. The little girl inside does not go away. She just makes survival codes that we might still be using today. So they really talked more about reparenting that. And that was a new term that I had not heard that really sparked my interest. And so I don't know exactly. They didn't go into detail, but if we just think about the word reparent, that means there are some areas that may not have been parented either correctly or need to be reinforced. When that little girl comes back up, we just have to deal with her, see her, and minister to what she needs. So that's what we got. That's what we got. That's where we stopped at. So, Pauletta, what you think?
I don't know. You saying reparent, that is a new term.
Yes.
That is a very new term. And so I guess when I think of reparenting, I would think of definitely there are a lot of different therapies that cause you to go back to, specific traumatic childhood experiences. But I guess it would be a matter of going back and doing some forgiveness work, which is very hard. And see, that's how come, like, if you're dealing with the little girl, to me, there has to be some level of therapy. There has to be, because if not, like, it's going to be very hard to deal with her, and to cancel her. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess with reparenting, definitely there's going to have to be some forgiveness that occurs. And definitely going back and looking at the situation differently.
Yeah.
If you're looking at, let's say if it's molestation and, nobody was there to defend you, or you told people and they didn't listen to you. And now, as an adult, you feel like, I have to protect myself. Nobody else will have to protect me. Then you're going to have to go back and say, okay, this is what happened to me, and kind of like what, Lynn says all the time, like, you're responsible for your own healing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go back and you're going to have to do the work for what that healing looks like is different for everybody. Healing is not a cookie cutter process.
Yeah.
That is so.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
It
That's
is
so
different for
good.
everybody. So
Yeah.
I can't be like, okay, well, go to the store, get you 5 garlic cloves, put it around your neck, jump up and down, and then you'll be healed. Like it's not
Yeah.
that type of situation. Like it's different for everybody because everybody's situation and everybody's response to that situation was different. But I think when we are triggered, what happens in our nervous system is like we go into survival mode.
Yep.
Like the first thing I'm triggered, like what is my initial response? And if there hasn't been any therapeutic work done, that little girl is going to show up
Ooh, and she gonna take
and she's
control.
going to take control.
Yeah.
If you haven't done the work to eradicate these maladaptive practices of when you're triggered, then you're going to continue
Okay,
to
hold on. What kind of practice?
okay. Maladaptive are just bad
Bad ways
patterns,
to
bad
adapt to it.
waitings.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so
I mean, you just can't trust that people
That
know what
everybody
to
okay,
know.
you're right. You're
Right.
right. You're
You
right.
can't.
You're right. You're right. So the bad way of doing things.
Yeah.
Let's say that. And so you have to like when you go into survival mode, what's in your survival kit? Like in your survival kit, is it to
Wow.
pause and think? Because that little girl doesn't pause and think. She responds out of emotions. So you need to think about like what is in my survival kit? Like again, is it to pause? Is it to count? Is it to start tapping? That's a new thing that everybody's starting to tap now. Which kind of
Tap themselves.
tap themselves. Like they'll tap their shoulders or they'll tap right here. And what it does, I'm talking like my kids. What it does is it kind of regulates your mind. It kind of brings you down from like this angst. So it's about what are you
Oh, that's
packing
good.
in your survival kit. And you need the necessary management skills in order to deal with this little girl. Because if not, she's gonna win.
Every time.
And I'm gonna tell you this: there are gonna be some times you could have the best survival kit, you know, but she's still gonna
And
show
she,
up,
yes,
and
she
she
will.
and she gonna rule for a minute. Like even if you think about like when you can prepare all day for tornadoes. Have your light bulb, your flashlight, your blankets, your canned food, and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, like that tornado's still coming.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And you may not have time to get to the survival kit. You understand? So for a minute, that tornado may be taking over until you can get to, your kit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're gonna be just because you have a survival kit doesn't mean that you're gonna be protected.
That's so
I
true.
mean, that's just the reality of it. There's sometimes she gonna and I'm gonna tell you, life will cause you to be so tired that you don't even think to go into the survival kit. You just be like, you know what, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just whatever, and it just overtake you, and you don't have the strength to fight the little girl. And so here you are in your 60s trying to fight a little girl, and you don't even have the strength because you've been beaten down so much. So I mean, I don't know, like what in when you think about like the little girl showing up, Juna, like what do you think?
For me, now I'll tell you this. Now, Queasy said she was intrigued by that reparenting, and you said it's a new word. I done went and looked it up because I want to know what it is. And look. And so I looked at this word. It looked up the definition. It says the practice of meeting your own emotional, physical, and psychological needs in adulthood, needs that may have not been adequately met when you were a child. So
Wow.
essentially, it does ring true the statement that you made about being responsible for your own healing. And what I'll say for me, what I have noticed, my little girl shows up when I feel like I'm getting ready to be abandoned. I can only count on
Really?
me. Like I because that's my issue. Like feeling as though I have only been able to count on myself, not being able to
Wow.
depend on. Obviously I could depend on my mom and my dad. It wasn't that, it was everybody else.
Yeah.
And because feeling let down and disappointed. And so but what I have a tendency to do when I feel that way, I withdraw completely. Like I completely withdraw.
Wow.
and I become a recluse, and I will it's not it's not even a healthy cutoff. It's just I stop. Just stop.
You cold turkey.
Yeah.
You disappear.
I disappear.
People can't get in touch with you?
Mm-mm. If you can call, the number still work for you. Okay.
Howsoever.
No answer. You may not get me. Okay.
Wow.
It the same
It go to
number.
that extreme?
It'll go to that extreme. And it hasn't been healthy. Like I've messed up relationships, friendships that could have been talked out.
Hey, you got to stay right here
Yeah.
so we can hear you.
I've messed up. Sorry, I've messed up relationships that could have been resolved had I taken a more mature approach to it, and set that little girl aside and not gone to the extreme to say, "Ooh, they're gonna do this to me, so I'm gonna leave before I allow." You know what I mean? And so I would say for me, lately, the evolution of that, me understanding that that's what I do, my evolution has been lately, I've been having to sit in it, and I have to have conversations with myself. I said this before. I have to talk to myself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And just within the last few months, working where I work, it's challenging sometimes because they're getting to know me, I'm getting to know them. And what's being built is trust. But what it feels like is doubt in my ability. You know what I mean?
I can totally
And as
understand.
hard as I've worked and as much experience as I've acquired,
But they don't know that.
But they don't know that. And they have a way of doing things.
Yeah.
And so there has to be some balance. Yes, I was brought in to assist and to help and to guide and to coach, and you know what I mean, and to kind of lead them into this growth spurt that's happening, but lead them through this growth spurt that's happening. But they still gotta be able to trust me, and trust doesn't happen.
It's built over time.
It's built over time, and so what may feel like
Rejection?
or what may feel like undermining, or what may feel like you disengaging me, it's not that at all. It's them, it's how they process. And so I've been having to make adjustments, which has not been easy for me, because what has happened in the past. Oh, okay, Indy. Like LinkedIn, down to the LinkedIn. Let me go down here to the LinkedIn and let's see what you know.
Yep.
Let me call my friend over here who knows somebody that knows somebody. Okay.
No, for
And
real.
let me get me somewhere else to go, and y'all can have this. You know what I mean? But that so actually dealing with that has been challenging because I'm fighting her. I am literally having to fight her.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that she's ever been justified in this whole process. It's just, but it also takes a conversation that I wasn't used to having either. It's important to speak up and say, this is what I'm feeling, and being okay with and trusting the person you're speaking to enough that they ain't gonna be like shun you and act like your feelings or whatever insignificant. So that is what she been showing, and she has been showing up. She has been showing up, and it's been satisfying to not revert back to those ways that I used to do. It's been satisfying. It's been hard, but it's been
Is it satisfying because it's making you realize like a love of growth that you
Yes, where I can actually.
So it's like I'm proud of me because I know I'm handling this different.
I'm proud of me. I'm handling it different, but it's also softening me in that area as well. That it's not what I think it is. You know what I mean? It's not the boogeyman. It's not the boogeyman. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not the boogeyman. It's a shadow. And so I I won't use the word enjoy. Enjoy is not the right word, but the learning process has been, I don't know, it's been sad. I keep going back to that word
You're a
satisfying.
lifelong learner. Like that's your thing. You
Yes.
said that before. How
Yes.
much you love to learn.
Yes.
So even though it may be challenging one aspect of who you are, it's feeding another aspect of
Yes,
who
it
you are.
is. It
And two
is.
things can be true at the same time. It's challenging me but feeding me.
Yes.
So that sounds like a dual thing that you have
It
going
is.
on.
And I'm thankful because I don't want to I don't want to keep wandering in the wilderness. You know what I mean? I don't want to keep I want to get past, I don't want her to run me no more. Tired of her. You know, I don't
Tired of her.
I don't want to
I'm tired of her.
I don't want her to run me anymore. And so just to see that, and it's also making me ask questions in other areas, not just work. That's really where it's always been.
Mm.
But it's now requiring me to ask questions in relationships. Now, some situations like recently, I just that yeah, you go ahead on and go on, go ahead and leave.
Well, everything
You know,
is not to be repaired.
right?
Right.
And everything is not to be resuscitated.
Yeah,
But we have to know what is. And then even if some things are repaired, they may not supposed to be completely repaired.
sure.
Maybe the repairing is to a certain point. Like we cordial, but we never spending the night together no more. Like,
Yeah.
things can be repaired, but just not, to the same level. But I was asked a question yesterday, and we were just talking about an interview prior to this, coming on and recording. We were talking before we started recording. And I was talking about you were talking about trust, and that's one of the questions that I was asked. It's like, how do you communicate with C-suite level executives?
Yeah.
You
How
got to explain what C-suite is.
it's CEO,
Chief.
CFO, CEOs, chiefs, any chief, okay,
Okay.
executive officer, okay. So
No, I did.
When I tell when she said
When
that
I said
yesterday,
I'm
I
like
was like, "Girl,
C-suite.
you done learned me."
Yeah, baby.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
See,
never
no,
knew my
No,
language.
yeah, I know, definitely your language, HR. And so I was asked that question, like, how do you tell them when you don't agree with something? How do you communicate to them that you have a different idea? And I said to them, well, being one that already presently works with a CFO and CDO like very closely, one thing I've learned is what I am free to do now is totally different from what I was free to do when I started.
Yeah.
And one thing I had to learn about sweet C-suite level executives is trust has to be built.
Yes.
And they have to see performance and production.
Yes.
And when they see performance and production and commitment and your quality of work, they begin to trust you on another level. And that was one of the things that I said. I said, so in that also, I know that there are some things that my CEO comes and asks me to do that she don't want my opinion.
Yeah.
She just need me to get
Do
the
it.
job done. And then there are some things that she comes and asks me, I know when my opinion is welcomed. So I've learned her enough to know. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
when I first came, I was extremely micromanaged
Yes.
to where I am now. And that's because you've seen my production, you've seen my performance. And so as you've seen that, your trust has built for me. So I'm like super free. You know what I'm saying? Versus when I first started, it felt real like, oh, you think I don't know how to do nothing? Or,
Right.
I felt that way. But I'm learning now it's whatever.
Right.
It's just totally different. And that's because I've proven myself. And nothing can replace that time
Yeah.
that trust takes to build. Nothing can replace that. One of the things that I wanted to hit on is I think when we think of healing, we think of healing in the concept of I gotta fix something that has to be broken.
Yes.
Right? And sometimes there's things that have been broken that'll never fix. But I gotta fix my perspective. So a lot of times the thing can't be broken. What if it's something with someone who's gone on to be with the Lord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have an art. I mean, you can't go dig them up and fix this.
Right.
So that's over with. So how do I move forward when my hurt has been caused by somebody who's not even living anymore, then it can't be about fixing.
Yeah.
The healing has to be about me healing the inward parts of me and about moving forward. How do I move forward? How do I move past this? And not so much trying to fix what has happened with the person, but being big enough, mature enough to move forward.
Yeah.
And doing whatever I need to do that. So sometimes healing is about, let me change my perspective. Let me look at a thing differently. And so that's what it's about. And then go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think healing is always about that.
Do you?
I think it's always about me having a different perspective, because the perspective that I currently have is broken, which is what's
That's
causing
good.
pain,
That's
right?
good.
And so, because that's where I am now, in order for me to be even start healing, I have to be open to seeing things different, seeing things from a different perspective. Being okay with extending a level of grace that I'm not normally, used to extending. Right. So it has to be that. It's not something that can sometimes happen. It has to always happen. And at least that's what I mean, that's the way.
Well, I guess you're right, because if you don't change your perspective, you can't really get through the steps
Every time.
to get to healing. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That
But it
makes
takes
sense.
a high level of maturity to even look at something traumatic
Yeah.
and to look at it differently. Like, how do I look at this? Like, there's no other way to look at it. But what you're looking at is, how did I respond? I'm changing my response to this, because I can't look at the molestation differently. There's no other perspective to look at it.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand? So what I'm looking at differently is, how can I change my response differently? Like, because what it is really is, it's like this ungodly belief cycle that you have this experience. Based on this experience, you have this belief system. Based on this belief system, now this is how you respond. So, like, I was molested, now I believe I can't trust any man. Now when I see a man, now, like, I tense up, or I don't go around the family, because I can't trust any man.
Right.
So now the thing is, how do I break that cycle, going from the experience to the belief?
Right.
Because if I can change that experience to the belief, then the rest of the cycle is broken. Yeah. Because, see, if I just say, instead of all men, just that man.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Now I can start the healing process. So it's not about looking at the situation differently. What I'm looking at differently is, how did I respond? How can I respond better, or how can I respond different, so that the healing process can begin?
How can I not hold everybody hostage to what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
That's good.
And that
It's
goes
just
back.
that
That goes back to therapy too. Because the adult version of me, quote unquote, got really busy this year. And when I sat down with my counselor yesterday, she said, it's been 6 months, right? And I said, no way. I just saw you. And she said, no. But as soon as I sat on that couch and she started digging, the little girl in me needed that. So the grown woman in me was trying to stifle that little girl that needed some more healing, that needed, but I was like, I got his stuff going on, and I got a new career going on, and I'm back in school. And so and before you know it, I didn't realize how much that little girl was on a rampage, because I did not deal with her, and I just got busy again. And that's a bad pattern, right?
That's good.
I got so busy that I let her go on a rampage, and I did miss a lot in the last 6 months, because I wouldn't go and sit down and deal with what that little girl needed.
Let me ask you a question. What was the rampage that was going on? What was happening for these 6 months? How was she showing her head?
She showed her head in a lot of ways. And I think one of the main ways is rejection. Like, anytime I feel rejection in any way, I will stifle. I don't trust. I heard somebody say the other day that what is it? We think that we're protecting ourselves, but we're imprisoning ourselves. And so that I always immediately,
Ooh, that's good.
start, like, if you reject me, I'm gonna keep pushing to try to get in because I'm just this person optimistic. But after you reject me for so long, then my guards are up, and it's gonna be hard, to ever get back to that place with me, because I'm just like, and I saw it happening even with my own child. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would say, "Mama, you're not even hugging me like that." It wasn't necessarily anything he did, but my guards were so up that I didn't want affection anymore.
When you put walls up,
Did it start
everybody is
translating
out.
everywhere?
It's
Everywhere.
not just, oh, hey, is this your hole? You can go through this hole.
There you go. Now, I'm like, ministry, there is a part of me that no matter what happens, if I see somebody need something, I don't mind, praying for you or encouraging you. I'll do that. But I don't know how to be that for myself. So she was telling me yesterday, she said, "You're dimming your light again." And I was like, "No, I'm not." I said, "Because I'm doing everything she said, "Yes, you are." She said, "Because the little girl in you, anytime you felt like you got too much attention, or that it was because you thought of it as prideful. And when you thought that people were giving you attention and it was coming at you, and that pride came on you, like, oh no, that ain't what God loved," and you go back into this, you go back into this hole.
You better be safe.
Pride comes before the fall.
And she was like,
It's witchcraft.
Right. And so she
"Oh my
was like,
gosh,
"You so stupid." She said, "Being proud of yourself is not prideful." She said,
it's
the
not."
only way to heal that little girl is to be okay with being proud of yourself. And I mean, I just was, I was crying, and I'm like, "Why am I crying like this?" She said, "Do you know how much you've accomplished this year?" Like, stop. Like, stop.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. She said, "You can't add anything else to your plate at this point."
I'm gonna tell you what the issue is. One thing that I'm saying and picking up from you, and not trying to be like, I mean, I ain't even say not trying to be like, it is who I am. One thing is that, gang, I'm trying not, it's this 50 keep be making me have a thought and then I lose it. One reason why you struggling with celebrating yourself is because you feel like you're so behind schedule.
Yes.
So because everybody else sees you accomplishing so many things, but you feel like you should have been accomplished them, and by now you should have accomplished more. So you almost don't give yourself permission to say, "Am I on it? Come on
You
now,
own it.
point to me.
You
Pass me an offering." I'm on it. I'm on it. I don't even want to be on it.
But you own it. But
I
you
won't
can't
be on
help
nothing today. Okay, now I want to be on here, and I'm here. But anyway, that's what's wrong. It's because you feel like you're so behind schedule. And because you feel like you're so behind schedule, you don't feel like what you've accomplished is celebratory worthy.
Yep.
Because you like, I should have been did this stuff I should have been done. And I think that's where we all are sometimes. Like, we feel like this ain't nothing. I should have been,
Especially
no.
when we have a setback and feel like we got done this start over.
Yeah.
Tell me about
Every
it.
time.
Okay.
I didn't got hit in the face just then.
But yeah.
Flesh and blood didn't reveal that to me.
But yeah, Chris, I think that's why you are struggling with celebrating this, because people see it as huge milestones. And I don't think you see it as a milestone.
Mm-mm.
I think you've seen it as a,
I'm
I
trying to
finally
hurt you
did.
finally.
They see it as a milestone. You see it as a finally. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Come on.
And so that's how come it's important for you to live in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And there's a difference between being proud of yourself and walking in pride.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And I struggle with
you
that.
know, yeah. And it's a fine line.
Yeah.
It's a fine
You
line.
think so?
Yes, I think it's a fine line. Like, you could be so proud of yourself that you walk in pride, that you just be like,
You look at people like that.
you know, like,
This what's happening
yeah.
up here that
yeah.
what the differentiation.
But you could be like, wow, you know what? You did that.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But you know what else I say in that? I think you are so right. But also, sometimes people don't realize, let's just say for us that have to grab a mic at any time or anything we have to do, people don't know the struggle to walk from your seat, what may seem to them like, ooh, that's, that may look prideful to them, or because it's so powerful.
And because
but
you
you
making
like,
it easy. You make it look real easy.
yeah, but you be like, if you want to know how my stomach toe up, like every time.
The night before.
Right, exactly. And then there was a part of me that never wanted to be some of what I saw. but I don't know their struggle. You know, like some of the things that I thought was
that's
pride.
good.
Yeah, some of the stuff that I thought was prideful may have just been them getting the courage. You know what I'm saying? To actually do what they were supposed to do. But to me, that looked like you boasting yourself. You know, like you doing
You
too much.
showing out.
You showing out. You showing out.
You don't even know what
you
it
don't know.
took.
And then the lady my counselor told me yesterday. She said, be careful. Because if you don't heal that, you're gonna stifle it in your child. And I was like, she was like, because I can already, she said, I don't know him, but I can tell by you that you see him, yourself in him. And he's probably bubbling over. And she said, but that part of you that feels like it's too much, you're going to shut him down every time. Every time he try to go, you're going to pull him back. You're going to pull him back. She said, no, you got to find a way to direct that because it's needed. Right. And so I was
Yes,
like,
it
oh,
is.
I didn't see that. So that was very interesting to me.
One thing that I want to talk about too and tap on is that one tap into is like, you're battling that little girl, you're battling, keeping her abreast, and not running things. So what is one promise or boundary that you set as a woman that has allowed the little girl inside of you to finally feel safe or heard or allowed to rest? Like, because in order for us to really quiet her, we have to set some kind of boundaries, because what makes her rise is different things for different people. Like, you said rejection. Paulette, I don't know if you said what yours was.
I was just about to jump in. Like I didn't really, and I hate that we're talking about this because I was like, I'm gonna be a blubbering mess. Because when I tell you, like,
You're
I'm
in
like,
that. No,
Yes,
me too.
you're in a yeah.
Me too. Me too.
Okay for you.
Me too.
We got your back.
Like when I tell you, so I know you are because you have yours tangible and it's internal and external all at the same time. So I understand that. No, but let me tell you something. Sitting at the counter the other day, it's about a week or so, I was talking to my son. We were talking, he was cooking and I was just sitting there working. And I don't know what we're talking about, but we're talking about something. We were talking about some things that I'm going through, and I said, my heart hurts. And he was like, do it, Mom. I said, no, I'm talking about the organ.
Ooh.
I said, I don't know if y'all know I said to him, I don't know if you know what that feel like when the organ hurts. I said, I got to go take some medicine, because not only does my heart emotionally hurt, my organ hurts. This is what I said to him. I said, I have not felt that kind of pain since my husband died. I remember when my husband died, my literal physical heart, the organ, was hurting. Like, I can't explain that. And he was like, really, Mom? I said, yes. I said, yes. I said, my heart is broken. It is broken. And I was just like, so what I'm dealing with, and it's the time to boundaries, and I'm going to come back to you, Paulette, on that, because I want you to speak. And maybe by the time I finish this, you've even got your strength to talk without, But I understand. I mean, I don't understand your journey because I'm not walking it, but I understand the pain part. But one boundary and one thing that I've been having to do every day is to not let it change me. That's the fight that I've been. I understand how leaders can become bitter. I understand how leaders can become abrasive. I understand how leaders can become isolated. I understand how leaders will not fool with anybody. I understand. Do you hear me? And
Overstand.
I overstand. Do you understand me? I fully get it.
Yeah.
How you can become bitter. And you can allow hurt to change you. And so that has been my fight. And God has constantly said, like, I still, like, just yesterday, somebody was talking about something they were having, and they text me and say, I wanted to, they inbox me, I wanted to invite you, but I said, no, she ain't gonna come. She a pastor, blah, blah. I said, well, I got stuff to do, but I'm gonna sow a seed. And God said to me, look at you. He's like, that's who you are. That's who you are. And I have to constantly remember, like, that's who I am. Giving is who I am. Being authentic is who I am. It's who I am. But I mean, people will make you want to, People will cause you to want to intentionally change that and turn it off and say, I'm going to stop giving so much.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stop being so nice. I'm going to stop allowing people to have access to me like they do. I'm going to stop being so regular with folks. You know what? I'm going to cut all this off. Yeah. Because this season has really shown me some stuff that has broken my literal heart. I'm talking about the organ was hurting. Now I'm better, but my boundary has been, because I am extreme. One of my major gifts is prophetic. I don't call myself a prophet. I don't say I'm a prophet. I don't use that. Not because anything's wrong with it. It's just not something that I say. But I don't really think people understand the burden of being prophetic. Is that you know stuff before it happens. Yeah. So God allows you to grieve it. Yeah. So when stuff happens, it's been so many things happening, and all God keeps saying to me is, I already told you that. I already showed you that. I showed you so it wouldn't break you down. All right. So I allowed you to start processing it. So when it happens, it wouldn't break you. Yeah. You know. So one boundary that I'm setting is not making God have to show me twice. Because I love people so much. I'm so optimistic. I so want to believe their potential is their reality. That's a very hard thing, is separating somebody's potential from their reality. What they could be is not who they are. They can become it, but it's not who they are. And I am setting the boundary. This is who they are. And until they become this, you have to deal with people a certain way. But you want to love people so much into what they haven't yet became. And you got to realize that what you're experiencing is just still potential. It's not reality. You know. And so I've definitely are setting boundaries that people won't get to experience me at the level that they have in the past. And I'm not bitter. I know what you're saying. I've just realized that people don't appreciate it. They don't. And you know, it's not going to stop me from loving. It's not going to stop me from giving. But you're going to manage your expectations. But I'm going to manage my expectations. All right? And let me tell you, a taker don't ever stop taking. And I know you're right. Because that's who they are. That's the truth. And you have to identify them. And you have to be the one that cuts the cord. And when you're a giver, you can't recognize them. Nothing. Tell you can't see them.
Or when you see them, that optimistic card still say, yeah.
But just like a giver has to learn how to smooth out, I would say, level out giving. Yep. For you know, because yourself. Yeah, you know, and I'm a giver by nature. Anybody could get anything from me. That's just the way that I am. I could be on the side of the road going down the street. I don't have to know you. Just like I told y'all the other day, I pulled over, turned all the way around, came back to get somebody some money because they had a sign that say they need a air mattress. And I knew I can't get him $5. That's not going to get an air mattress. See, that's how I'm thinking in my brain. No, I got to get enough money to be able to give him where he can really, if I'm going to give him some, let him really be able to go get an air mattress. See, that's how I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm not thinking, let me give him something down on an air mattress. That's just not even how I think. No, it's not. You understand? Even if I encounter a homeless person, I don't have physical cash on me. And they say, I want something to eat. I will say, okay, let me go in there, get you something to eat. I don't have no cash, but I got my car, but I'm going to bring some to eat. That's who I am. Yeah. I do this all the time. Yeah. And I don't talk about this. There's nothing for me to be somewhere. Let me get that for you. There's nothing for me to cross in front of somebody. I got it. People I don't know. This is who I am on a daily basis. You understand what I'm saying? But what I've learned is people that don't know me celebrate me. It's the people that get to experience you that become so common with you and who you are. Oh, and so I'm learning, and what I've learned through this, number one, don't let anybody make me become bitter, but I see how. I instantly start thinking about my past pastors, one in particular that was so tough and so hard. And for so long, I thought he was so tough and so hard. Oh, I understand. I understand. Was he a little far over? Yes, but I understand how you can get there. Yeah. People will hurt you. Yeah. and people will break you if you let them do it. You know what I'm saying? And been having a front row seat of watching other people watch you be broken and participate. It's just hard. And it's a tough spot. So my boundary has been I will not allow this to change my heart. Because you got to protect your heart. And don't let people change you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let people change you. Yeah, you got to put some boundaries. You got to put some bumpers up. But ultimately, my fight has been because the little girl in me will cut your behind off completely and never look back. That's who I am. And I'm very extreme. But let her tell you that. I'm extreme. Like, I'll go to the woo. Like, it'll be crazy to the lengths and breadths that I'll go. No, it's serious. I'll make sure I never see you again on earth. Like, that's how deep. No, I'm for real. That's how deep it can go for me. And so that's the little girl in me. I got the don't play with me type mentality because I've been played with so much as a child. So I got don't play with me. I will show you. I will treat you like you never existed. And I can do it and sleep well. So it's battling that. Is saying, no, Lynn, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
You're not going to allow anybody to manage your emotions like that from afar. Because even though they may not be in your space, they're managing your emotions because you're making decisions about how you going to carry and act based on what somebody else has done. So that's the boundary that I'm saying. I will not allow this to make me be bitter. I will put boundaries up, but I will not allow it to change me. I will not stop loving people genuinely. I will not stop giving and looking for nothing in return. I will not stop being me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I've had to battle with. Is I will not stop being me. So, that's been hard. All right, Paula, you ought to be healed enough.
Let me start with this and then
you close it on out.
And then I'll yeah. I think for me, you said bumpers. I think that's so that is exactly the word that I was looking for because the reality is even though I've established these boundaries, the little girl is within the boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And so when I start, that little girl starts rising, I'll hit a bump. I hit a bumper. And so what my bumper is to ask questions. So 2 weeks ago, I was in California and I had text Lynn and I was like, or I could either text her and I called her, but she didn't, call me back. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, call me back. And then I think I text her and she didn't respond. And so the next text was like, hey, are we good? Like, I called you, I text you, you didn't respond. And she was like, hey, get out your head.
That was my
You know what I'm saying? And when she said that, it was like oh, okay, little girl, sit down.
Yeah.
Because what you...
And I didn't even see the call.
What right.
At all. I never saw it.
Right.
Until she said it. And then I went and looked and I saw it. Yeah.
And see, and even if we look at that, the adult has to be okay with, I didn't see it.
That's it.
Because the little girl could be like, you didn't see it.
But I really did.
Right. But I'm saying, so the adult...
But I want you to understand how many calls in the last couple of weeks I've missed from people.
Right.
Like prominent people. Not that you're not prominent. Right. I'm just saying I missed seriously important phone calls.
Right.
And I don't see how.
Right.
Only time I've been noticing it is I look back and they in red.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's just because I've just been in my own space.
Yeah. And I mean, and so, like I had to, because I don't want the little girl to run.
Don't do it.
I don't want her to run my life. So in that instance, when she said, I didn't see it, the adult was like, okay.
Yeah.
Even though the little girl was like, you didn't see it. But I was just like, she didn't see it. Okay, we moving on.
Yeah.
So when I hit that bumper,
that's so funny.
But I'm just saying, when I hit that bumper in the boundaries that I set, it's to ask a question. Hey, are we good? I just want to make sure because, before I start producing this movie that I started casting already.
In your head, yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, ever since this whole, first of all, I thought the little girl was grown up. Until I started living with my mother.
See, that's what I was going to say. It's even harder for you to manage it because you got to be in the present. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you can't get away.
Right. So I'm like, God, how do you expect me to heal in Babylon? You understand what I'm saying? The
So
place of
good.
my trauma is
want
where
me to
you want to
Place
heal.
of
heal.
my affliction. Jeremiah.
Say, I'm tired of being one of the strongest soldiers. Like,
You understand what I'm saying? And so there are moments when I should stand up, but I'm like,
You know that's the part that make me mad.
right, and I get it, and I
So
get
I
it.
be like, I don't care if I got to tune your tail up every day. You gonna get this oil change every day. Do you understand me? Come here. I ain't missing a day. Cause see, some children, let me tell you something. When I had my salon years ago, my girlfriend, she probably gonna hear this. Praise the Lord. She had a son that was so challenging. See, I ain't say bad, so challenging. And I said, let me tell you what you're gonna have to do with him. For a season, you're gonna have to whoop him for everything he does. I said, until you break that rebellious spirit off of him. I said, I'm telling you, every little bitty thing, you're gonna have to be on him. Like for a season, he can't have no rest. Like you just gonna have to be.
yeah.
That's how I feel with you. I'm
Right,
tuning you up.
right,
Tuning
that's
you.
right,
If I gotta tune you every day, come on, you finna get this tune up.
right. And I
And
need
I
to,
know that's exhausting within
right,
itself.
because that's not
But
even
then
who
you
I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
not a tuna.
And this is your peaceful. She's in your peace. This is your home. This is what you
what?
got. Come on.
What you
Yeah.
not?
I'm
You
not a tuna.
invaded my
Yes, you
space.
are.
I'm not to that
Maybe
degree.
not daily.
Not daily. Like I can tune now.
Oh, we know.
Don't get me. Don't
Don't
get
get it twisted. Now I can
Oh,
tune,
we know.
but I am not the chief tuner.
Right.
You understand?
Y'all be having scripted
I
tunes.
don't.
Come
You
on.
understand what I'm saying? So
But I'm saying for a season,
and I understand.
yeah.
And I'm gonna have to do that. So now I'm in the process of like trying to get that mustard strength up to be like, you know
Well,
what I'm saying?
you fighting multiple battles all
Right.
at
You know
once.
what I'm saying? But it hasn't been till this battle that I'm fighting now that I've even started create. I've never been the type of person to create movies in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
I have.
I've never been the type of
Overthinkers.
person. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying?
an
And
overthinker
I've
too.
always been like, okay, it's black, it's black. It's not like a dark gray, but or a dark or white. It's black. That's it. So I've never. But this whole situation, between living with my mom and battling, the cancer, surviving cancer, like it has caused me to start, because the enemy will be like, you by yourself.
Yep.
You by yourself, right? Like, and then I'll look at April and be like, April had Twan, who you got? And I know I
That's
got
the
people,
enemy.
but
Yeah.
I know, so
Holy
I'm
Ghost.
so not only am I fighting little girl, I'm fighting little thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like daily, like,
Oh, yeah.
then looking in the mirror and every day is one eyelash gone, it's another eyebrow gone. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
I'm rubbing the back of my head. I really don't feel no hair growing. So just battling all of that stuff,
One time.
has
It's
made
a
it
lot.
easier. It has
Yeah.
made it easier for the little girl to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You
Let's
ain't
go.
got the
You
strength to
really
fight
are
me.
alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ain't got the strength to fight
Yeah.
me. Okay, so let me come up in this situation. Let me come up in, but yeah, you just daily. It's for in some seasons, I think it's gonna be a daily fight that you're gonna have to
What
fight off.
have you been doing? Or if you and you could say I ain't been doing that. That's why she winning.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, what? That's why she winning. Hey, guy, ain't been doing that. No, you don't see me. But yeah, I mean, that could be
No, I'm just joking.
no, like, what have you been doing? Because you've been doing something.
Yes.
Because even in this place, you're still showing up. Even if you're showing up on broken pieces, we don't see that the pieces are broken.
Yeah.
We see that you're present. So what have you been doing? Because you've been doing something. Is it fighting through? If it's fighting through, how have you been fighting through? If it's fighting through, what has been giving you even that little bit of strength to muster, to get up, to go to work, to come to church, to show up? Like what is giving you that?
Um, just making the decision, a choice, just being like, let's go. Because the other alternative is to fall deeper in. So it's like, do you want to fight the little bit of you got? You know what I'm saying? Or do you want to slip deeper? And so it's been a choice. It's been hanging around family and
There
laughing.
you go. That's
You
what I
know
was
what I'm
going to ask you
saying?
about. Yeah.
Even though like I'm still like, okay, like I'm still doing, and I'm gonna tell you this, in my way of coping has been like, okay, but I got cancer. You know, and I know for people outside looking in, they're like mortified.
Well, you know, as a family, and you know, when I say family, I'm talking about you. One of our problems is our humor is very dark.
Yeah.
Like our family humor is extremely dark.
Yeah.
And so Chris would even talks about that as how in Howard, when he went to Howard, how he would crack and everybody would be looking like mortified. You know, like
really, you
yeah, because like,
right.
but our family humor is extremely
very
dark.
Very dark.
You know, like Chris was talking to me, and I know he gonna be like, "Mama," but I mean, somebody else should be your mama. I'm your mama.
hey.
I'm gonna use you as an example. That's it. So he was talking about the day, and he was saying that he was watching something where, and we got to do this at church too, where they just put up this thought on the screen, like they put a thought on the screen that say, all religions are disciplined except Christian. Like they'll throw a thought on the screen, and then you just start having an open discussion about it. Like we really got to do it. It's super cool. And so he was saying, Mama, they said on here that you should say, and we on the phone, you should tell your friends when they have gotten too big. I said, they said that? He said, yeah. So, you know, he going on talking. I kept saying, Chris. He said, huh? I said, can you hear me? He said, yeah. I said, you got to be. That's our family. And he was just like, he fell out laughing. But that's the humor. Even at the when y'all talked about him at the dinner table the other day, y'all all said we're gonna say something nice about each other.
Yeah.
And you say, I love your haircut, Chris. And he says,
he says, I love your haircut too.
oh yeah, and then going like,
and then look at Jay mortified. I'm trying to understand. Then he takes it to another level. On his phone, he has like this sound of a buzzer of clippers. So he goes to my head and it's like, bzzz, you know what I'm saying?
See, I didn't know he did that. And that's when I was like, Chris, you took it too far.
Everybody, everybody at the table is crying, except there were some other people who weren't part of our family.
You know,
they were like,
yes. And see, we don't realize how dark.
Yeah.
Like it's very dark. Like we cannot say you look cute.
Right. Yeah.
We gonna say you think you look cute, don't you? You think you look cute in the pants. Nothing gets a compliment. Yeah, everything with us is twisted. And I'm just like, y'all, that's really not healthy.
Right. But it has helped, me in this season. Like that has been my way of coping. Like, you know, the other day.
You are one of the ones who have the darkest love of you.
Right.
You said
the other day. We were at Gigan's house. We were at Gigan's house. And she was like, I need somebody to take out the garbage, you know. And I was like, well, I can't. She's like, I know, because you got cancer. You know what I'm saying? And so, but it was funny to hear Gigan say it. You understand? So it like everybody is, you know, but for me, it has been so good, like just to be able to not be so everybody be like, oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because the other day I said it in front of April, and April's like, I bind that in the name of Jesus. You do not. I was like, hey,
it's a joke.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I know it's not funny, but it's a joke.
Yep. Now, if somebody else would have said that, I probably would be in my feelings. But you,
right.
Because
I know her. Yeah,
right. So I would just say, definitely, like making the choice to get up, making the choice not to wallow. You know, because I have every right to wallow. You know what I'm saying?
Like if you wanted to, you would be justified.
I would be just so. It would be definitely just being around family,
everything,
and
I would.
Really, Judah?
let me tell you, diagnose.
But see, she ain't gonna do that because she ain't gonna sit in the house with
no
lean every day.
No.
So if the little girl, and we're gonna go down, and this is how we'll end, y'all. This has been so good. It's been so good. Starting with Queasy, if the little girl in you sat across from you today, what would you say she still needs?
Well, that's a question.
Oh, that's a really good question.
Ooh, that's good. If she was sitting across from you today,
right now,
how would you process what she needs, even today? Because every one of us still has a little girl in us. And you also have to understand that little girl in us still has a need.
Yeah.
What will your little girl need be today?
Someone to look past the facade of having it all together. You know, like, and see that I need support. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of times, especially just being connected to a family name, and a lot of, there are a lot of doors that I walk in and people just be like, she got it. She don't need at this point. I'm like, no, I'm thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm hungry. Not thirsty to the point where I'm just gonna go for anything. But you get what I'm like. She needs to be mentored. She needs to be. She hasn't learned all that needs to be learned. Like, she's not above getting. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where the extra. It may have been like false humility came in. Because it was like I was trying to get people to see that, but it was, I don't know, it was mixed with a lot of stuff. So I would definitely say that, because when I realized that was frowned upon, that I didn't know, because for some reason I felt like I needed to know, that's when more walls came up. And then that's when, like, now I'll come hug you. I'll come love on you. But if you do too much, like if my daddy want to hug me, I have a problem with hugging him. Because I'm going to cry. I don't know why, but I'm going to cry when he hugged me like that. Somebody asked me, my old child was like, why you don't say
precious.
why you don't say you love your dad at the end of the conversation?
You know what I would do to hug Willie?
I know, but it's a vulnerable. I remember when I was pregnant with RJ and my daddy went to rub my stomach and I had a whole come apart. And he said, shoot, I never rub your stomach again. I won't. And I said, it's not. I said, it's not that. But that's not the relationship we had. It was very performance based. You know what I'm saying? So it was so hard for me to just be that. And so that's what we've been creating since he's not been my pastor. He's just my daddy. So
has that been good for y'all?
Oh man, like we besties. Like, I mean, like even when he was up at the school helping yesterday, April was telling us, she was like, the principal just spoke so highly of your dad, just how hard he was working. Well, this is who he is. He just has to feel comfortable that he's wanted. Because if I ever reject that, he's gonna. I'm literally him. If I ever reject that, he just gonna.
That's it.
So definitely look past. I look past the gifts. Look past all, you know what I'm saying? Because look past Queese's gifts and see that she wants community. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's good.
That little girl wants community, and that's what I'm working on. Is opening myself up to the community I need to be all I know I am destined to be. Yeah.
Pauletta?
Reassurance that she's loved.
That's your greatest need right now.
Yeah. To be reassured that I'm loved, that nobody's going, the people that I love aren't going anywhere. They're not going to leave me, and I, of course, that's tied to that abandonment, that abandoned little girl, so I would say the greatest need is just reassurance. Like, hey, I ain't going nowhere. God.
Wow.
Yeah. And even if you say it like that, I'll be like, okay.
Okay. So when I say it like that, okay,
thank you. You know what I'm saying? So when you say it like that, I'll be like, okay, appreciate it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So the greatest need is just reassurance that I'm loved and that the people that I love aren't going anywhere.
That's good.
For me, she needs to be challenged on her assumptions. She need the assumptions that she makes. She needs someone to then say, okay, you're assuming this. What is it based on? Did you inquire? Did you ask if that's what they meant? You know what I mean? Do a little bit more digging. She needs to be challenged. Don't let her just run with her assumptions. Don't let her run with them.
That's good.
Challenge it. Why do you feel this way? What happened? Okay, so what did they actually say? Did you then ask them what they meant by it? She is very distrustful. She don't trust nobody. So because she doesn't trust anyone, she doesn't trust anything anyone says.
Yep.
She doesn't trust that who's showing up is who they are. And so because of that, she needs to know nobody's out to hurt you.
Wow.
Nobody, they are not trying to take anything from you. Why are you feeling this way?
Wow.
Because if listen, this girl here,
Is that connected to needing to feel protected?
heck yeah.
Wow. Wow. For me, it's safety. That's what I need right now. My greatest need is to feel safe.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like physically, emotionally, like spiritually,
Everywhere.
across the board.
That's it. Nothing big. I don't even.
That's huge.
I ain't even have nothing to elaborate on.
But no,
But
but
that
to
is
feel
huge.
safe. That's huge.
Yeah, like that's
Even when people ask me about relationships, like, what's your number one thing? Like your number one non-negotiable is safety.
Yeah.
You have got to be my safe place. Not my everything, but my safe place. And I gotta have that. Like when I get around you, I ought to be able to fall asleep and sleep so hard and just I'm gonna know when it's my person because I'm gonna be able to just rest.
and just
Their presence
exhale.
is
That
going
exhale.
to bring a rest to me.
And the thing is, you ain't gonna be able to. They ain't gonna be able to fake that.
Mm-mm.
Baby, that's a good one. I'm gonna steal
No,
that.
because my discernment is too high to fake it with me. You know, I will know because I will naturally let my guard down. And it will happen organically because I'll feel safe. Safety brings about so much stuff in the area of a woman. You can get so much from a woman just from her being safe. And it's nothing you ever have to say. It's just what you do. And when you provide that kind of space to her, she's so free to become. She's so free to become. She's so free to love you. She's so free to reciprocate. She's free to do whatever because she feels safe. You don't have to tell me I'm safe with you. First of all, when you tell me, then now I got a red flag. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Just be safe. Just be. And I'll know. When I start falling asleep around you and I can sleep hard and ain't got to wake up at work, oh, I know you say you're a safe place. It's a difference. You rest in safety.
Yeah.
Like when you safe, you rest.
That's
you
good.
let your guards down.
That's
you
good.
just, everything is different. So that's what I would say. Definitely safety. Okay. That's our question of the week. We answered it. Now you answer it.
I was finna flip that thing up.
Come on, give it to him, Juna.
I was finna flip the question of the week to what truth or reassurance would you give your little girl about the woman she grew up to be?
Say that again.
What truth or reassurance would you give the little girl about the woman she grew up to be?
That's really good.
Wow. All right, y'all. That says it. Now, you ain't got to go nowhere, but you got to go from here. But you can follow us on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, at The Her Lounge Podcast. We'll see you next time.
See ya.